tawag. No? Dahil ano bang brigadier, major, lieutenant general, alam ko na ang ranking niya, no? Pero ngayon ay from what you said, brigadier, that I was scanning through this list and ang dami palang brigades, no, sa atin. For a first, for a second, for a third, meron pang 52 EB and etc. No? So, yeah, indeed, apaka-wide ng niya si Johnny Salvania, and who was my contemporary in high school. Kaklase ni Visayo Luspo. Visayo Luspo and Johnny Salvania belonged to class of 1966 of Xavier High School, and we looked up to them, brave souls. Unfortunately, si Visayo died in an encounter a few years, less than 4 years after graduating. And of course, other members of the security sector, Brigadier Hambala and Commander Hambala, baka kamali ako sa sa sequencing. Bae Rose, she was a classmate in this Mindanao Bridging Leaders Program, or handled by the Asian Institute of Management and funded by the World Bank. Alumnus din dyan si Ai and marami from the military. And we had a classmate who was then based in Zamboanga. Of course, Mr. Sebastian, ating, you want to know the history of this and that, he's a good resource person. Sa atong mga kaigsunan sa military and sa civilian population din sa Patag, maing buntag and happy Fiesta, Barrio Fiesta. And you know, we are blessed. 4th ID covered ang Northern Mindanao, except Lanao del Norte and Caraga, dahil ang gagaling ng ating mga commanders, no? And this period is no exception, and tingin ko mas magaling pa kaysa mga commanders natin, dahil para na rin siyang taga dito, and so familiarity niya to the area is certainly very, very profoundly evident. No? Malaking tulong ang national defense, securing the people, serving the people and securing the land. No, napakaganda ng slogan, serving the people, because they are part of God. And marami rin ang naitutulong ang ating armed forces. We would not be where we are now kung wala ang armed forces. Walang confidence, walang who would invest millions, billions of hard-earned money in a place where there is no certainty, and where peace and order would remain a big question mark. And especially tayo dito sa Mindanao, we had been victims of situations in the past that had not only curtailed but set back the gains that had been painstakingly achieved. Pero we cannot go back to the past and point fingers. We just have to move forward. And ngayon, we see Mindanao growing. And in fact, kanina sa interview, and I would like to share that with you, itong Metropolitan CDO, it's not as if that there will be call it a one government system or one government set of leaders, no? Unlike what happened in Metro Manila. Metro Manila was was made by decree and legislating a statute that would even come close to the Metro Manila law would be very, very difficult. Political reasons, fears of being encroached, etc. But if you look at how can we build a better future for our people? The name of the game is really bayanihan. Wherever you are, anything that we do, if we do it alone, in isolation with the rest, it's very difficult. And more so, if you talk of government service. Even now, the universal health care, and this is really, I hope this will be an eye-opener for many. That we have seen in the health sector an evolution. And I have witnessed that every milestone brought forth a signal that there should be a change of approach. Noong una, before the local government code, national government, Malacanang dictated everything. Everything that you need or that was needed, Malacanang had to allow or approve it. And then came the local government code, and greater powers were given to the LGUs. But in consideration for the greater powers and the share in the national taxes and taxing powers that were given, the LGUs were supposed to deliver services that were devolved to the local level, particularly health. Unfortunately, not all LGUs looked at that in that way. Akala yung taxing powers and greater share was for services other than the devolved service. And then came itong PhilHealth create where PhilHealth, a national body, would pay claims. Pero insurance, a contract of insurance, the insurer agrees to pay the claims if the risk insured against happens. So in the contract of insurance, it is very elementary that the risk insured against may or may not happen. If that element does not exist, it is not insurance. And then came the government's point of care. Pag nasa loob ka na ng public hospital, bayaran lang ang premium and PhilHealth will take care of that. A revolutionary approach. No longer per se an insurance. Pero yun, nakita natin, government wanted to serve. After all, that's the duty of government, to serve. So, okay lang that the risk already has occurred na magbayad siya and makatanggap ng premium. The government this time made its other hat be the deciding factor. Two hats yan, as insurer and as government. And then came the point of service. Wala ng premium. So government service na talaga. And then now the universal health care. Well, ang sinasabi is, everybody is secured by PhilHealth. Hindi na dapat problemahin. Pero the basic question is, would the resources be enough? Dahil, siyempre, the government should continue to provide the services, yung mga public health, etc., etc. Universal health does not take away from the national deliverables. Those areas like yung specialty hospital, etc., etc. So, ngayon, napakagandang pakinggan, pero the question is, can we do it? Now, dito mismo sa universal healthcare, there is one word that describes it, and it is integration. Integration. Bayanihan pa rin. As far as the city is concerned, every health facility is integrated operationally and management-wise. And then financial risk protection. Sa mga probinsya, and this is what is the most difficult part. Sa mga probinsya, all of the health facilities of the province will now be under the control of the provincial government. Note that in the case of provinces, mayroong mga munisipyo or component cities. So, very difficult, especially if and you cannot avoid politics. Every 3 years, we have elections. So, kalaban ng governor, ang mayor, what happens? In the meantime, people are looking at universal health care as being able to provide the efficient health services that the law promises. So, ito, inano ko lang dahil ang purpose ko yung metropolization. And, ganun na rin ang tingin ko sa military. In fact, the military has done it way, way ahead sa civilian sector. Ang military is the bigger the area, the better. Well, imagine if fragmented, the operational nuances would be medyo delikado. In fact, when I was congressman noon sa 1st District of Misamis Oriental, I requested the 4th ID dahil the practice then was yung anything east of Ujungan River in Ingog would already be under the responsibility of somebody from based in Bangkasi, in Butuan. And ang problema ko noon was how could collaboration with the civilian authorities be improved. Mayor of Ingog City and then sa Congress. So imagine you have to talk to 2 brigade commanders, especially sa Ingog, etc. No? But of course, naintindihan din natin na yung placement sa brigade or whatever units you call them is essentially mirroring the insurgency organization and placement, which is also an ideal formula militarily. Anyway, I guess ang point ko lang is that's why we need leaders na talagang wider ang perspective and a team man. And this is, I think, one value that is taught diha sa PMA. I don't know whether it's possible for somebody sa PMA matapos na hindi teaman na yun talaga ano dahil importante yan. And yan ang aspect sa leadership siguro na I hope will be shared also by the civilian sector. Especially na meron yung politics that tends to divide, polarize not just the leaders but the constituencies. But the challenge really, and I hope na we are guided by these new developments, no? Work together. Ngayon yung ating objective of ending local communist armed conflict is gaining ground, and I would like to acknowledge as the chairman of the ARPOC of the region, our region, actually much of the work had been done by Director Popov and General Gakal. And malaking tulong ang, after all, ano talaga yan, the idea to end local communist armed conflict is really something that requires a team effort. And certainly it's not as if that the military is one team and the civilian is another team. All of us belong to the same team. And as we, and of course in a team, no matter how many points you score, if the team loses, talo pa rin ang team. But if the team wins, kahit taga-depensa ka lang, kahit taga-assist ka lang, panalo ka pa rin because the team wins. So, napakaganda ho ng element of teamwork, and that's why, and then you have, aside from teamwork, you have the kind of leadership that we have, no? And kaya ang RTF sa Region 10 is at the forefront and often cited. Salamat din sa leadership ni Secretary Martin Andanan, no? Ano rin, he has taken time to attend our sessions, no? But of course, the real work here, sila ni General Gakal and Director Popo. And kaya pala hanggang sa advisor ka na rin sa pista. Yan pala sikreto. Hindi, tama-tama dahil yung mga products from our small and medium scale. In fact, ang binulungan ko nga si Popo, meron ba dyan yung kiseo sa Musuan in Bukidnon? Yung Carabao milk. Alam mo, because when I grew up, my lola used to prepare kiseo for breakfast, made of Carabao milk. And every now and then, nagpapakuha ako doon sa ano eh. And the other day, I asked somebody to bring some Carabao milk, yung white and yung cocoa. Alam nyo, nakadala siya ng ilan, pero ubos na daw. Madaling maubos. Yung kiseo, there was nothing already left for sale. Dahil pinakyaw daw ng taga-iligan. That's how sellable it is. No? So, and in spite of the fact na maiksi ang kanyang self-time. So there are many things to be happy with and to be proud of here in Northern Mindanao and Caraga region. And there was a time in the past that Caraga was part of Northern Mindanao. Many would still remember that. I do remember that distinctly because at that time my mother was with DepEd. She was regional supervisor for music. So umaabot siya doon sa Lianga, Marihatag, Barubo, Tandag, etc. just to organize singing competitions and so on, no? And imagine she had to travel back home to Balingasag to attend to my ailing father. So napaka no, ngayon with all the build programs, connectivity is very clearly all around us. Now, darating ang time from Talakag, you can go straight to Iligan with paved roads, and then hopefully from Cabanglasan all the way to Hingoog City, all the way to Butuan, and so on, crisscrossing our highways in Mindanao, crisscrossing. It's about time. When I was a student in Manila in the early 70s, isa lang ang kilalang daan doon, MacArthur Highway, when you go north. Ngayon, nobody remembers MacArthur Highway anymore. You have highways all over. NLEX, SLEX, beginning with Tarlac, ang dami ng alternatives. You can take one route depending on the conditions as you see them. Dito sa atin, you travel from Iligan to Butuan, you still have to take the Iligan-Cagayan-Butuan road. And so it's about time. So itong sa RTF, Regional Task Force, certainly will allow the government to focus more on development, which is a key element in attaining peace. Without development, I don't know how peace would look like. And of course, ang ating armed forces would be a vital component. So, happy anniversary, General, and to all your men and women of the 4th ID. I was telling the General that I used to come here even before 1970 because my mother's sister was married to Kaiton. And anak nila sina Bert, sina Nonong, and Junior, who were all in the military. And I learned my basketball here, dyan sa likod ng simbahan. May basketball court dyan dati. And of course, I also had many friends here, Pañares siblings, Romy Posadas, and many others. This is one community that is very much a part of Cagayan de Oro. Very much a part of Cagayan de Oro. And not just Cagayan de Oro, of the region. So, and I hope that you realize that. You belong to the region and even to the upper half of Mindanao. And as we endeavor to bring about a better life, you are very much part of that. Salamat, happy anniversary, and good morning, everyone.